Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, and I feel like I'm doing a summer review of all that we've learned over the year with a lot of revisiting of things. But I think that revisiting things is good, and it helps me to redo it in my head, and I hope it helps you to hear it again. It's like, oh yeah, duh, because I pull out my little, all my little Post-its with ideas. I know, sad, huh? And then sometimes I go into the YouTube, into my my videos to see what the titles are, to get a little jolt of doing something, because sometimes it seems like it's the same old, same old. But I guess it's the same old that's tried and true. That means it's a routine and a ritual. That means it's consistent. And it means that it can spell success for anybody, no matter what food plan they're doing. If you're doing it the same way every day with some consistency, not getting bored, not having a cheat day or a cheat meal every other day, or working really hard Monday through Friday noon, and from Friday night to Sunday night, it's like the buffet table is open. That might not work either. So here we are, and in reviewing stuff, we get that little, just that little washing over of like what is supposed to work for us. Now, most of you know I'm doing the low carb, high fat food plan, and it's working. I'm in maintenance, and so I hover, with the same 2 to 3 pound fluctuation, and that's all good. And I truly feel it's a lot weather related, as well as full moon. Now today, it's very, 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 very humid, and it's also a full moon. So that means bloated, and through no fault of my own. Although maybe I had more salt yesterday. I had crack slaw for lunch, and I was just reading reviews of things, and somebody said, I thought crack slaw was fattening because of the sodium. And it's like, well, I know that on a keto diet you need to add sodium. I don't know. I don't have that fear of salt. Salt was never an issue for me. I don't use table salt. I use the Himalayan pink salt. So to me it's part healthy because it's got the trace minerals in it. So, okay. So there's that. Now, how you doing with your FOMO this summer? FOMO is fear of missing out. How are you doing with it? Do you feel like you're missing out? Have you partaken in events and parties and cookouts and things like that because you're there, it's there, and you had that fear of missing out and you want to appear, I don't know, normal or without restrictions for one day? It wasn't a planned cheat meal or treat meal, as I like to call them, but it was just a full blown out, I'm just going to do this. Do you take care of yourself with little munchies when you go to something like that, just in case there's not like a tray of crudités there, so you know that where your things came from? There's a little bag, Bunny brand has some baby carrots that are all the different colors. What fun I had with that. But I tend to I tend to aim for the most, well, right now I'm working on a 4-pack of organic tomatoes that taste pretty homegrown, and then organic mini carrots, and I know there's another thing, organic mini cucumber. Anyway, I like to have those. Oh, the organic red pepper slices. I like to have those things at lunch with a high-fat kind of lunch, like my 3 tablespoons of Fage yogurt with 2 tablespoons of old-fashioned Teddy peanut butter. That's my little go-to lunch these days. And today will be that lunch with some organic strawberries. So it's kind of fun. I like my lunches like that. And then for dinner tonight, it's a regular salad that is going to be good. Kind of looks like this one, my favorite one that I look at all day long. As you can tell, it's pretty close to being framed. I love it, looking at it so much. And some pork ribs that we smoked up the other day. So it's a nice food day. And I'm going to Market Basket, don't you know? When I go to Market Basket, I feel like I should talk this way. They're very nice there, and they have a great selection of things. And I get my mushrooms there, even though they aren't organic. They just seem fresher there. You know how you end up buying certain things at certain stores? So the fear of missing out that I always stress at the end of a fear of missing out FOMO podcast is coming back here and having that fear of missing out on having the 1, 2, 3, or 7, if you're on a vacation, type of days of not tracking and not paying attention to what you were eating. And I don't know anybody that doesn't start out a vacation with good intentions, right? I'm going to bring this, and we're going to stop for, with our cooler, and we're going to get this for our room. It has, or the house that we're renting with the fridge, or the room that we're renting with the little refrigerator. I'm going to get carrots and cucumbers and yogurts and healthy things, cheese sticks, and put them all in there. And I'm bringing a jar of peanut butter as well. And I'm going to be safe that way. And what happens? Well, of course, people want to go out to eat, especially if it's in a resorty type place. You want to go out for some of that fried seafood and that fried onion rings, and all of a sudden that stuff starts, and then somebody wants to treat for dinner, maybe a host or hostess or maybe a guest, and there you are in a local joint, and so you say, well, I'll have the cheeseburger without the bun, which sounds good, then I'll have the salad, it comes with croutons, oh well, I'll just go back and track them. You forget to track them. Maybe there's more cocktails involved. Maybe there's more ice cream stops involved, because it is a hot summer, right? And so there you are, and you're slowly sliding away, and you don't want to, but it's there. And especially if you're at a cookout and you have no defenses against the first some more, and maybe the some more one is enough, but it's still too many if you haven't planned for it. Because there's nothing worse than derailing yourself and being mid-falling and knowing where you're going, and then you start to bargain with yourself in your head. Okay, I'll just overeat at this one party, this one cookout. I won't do it again. And you get home, or you get up the next day, and something happens again, and there's just a little less vigilance on your tracker, with your tracker, for you. And so I don't want to see that happen. And so hence we're doing a FOMO podcast that's a revisit. It's still August, it's still summer. There are still events that can be happening, and I want all of you to be safe. I want you to be bulletproofed. And, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts about sugar and how invasive it is. And I know that a lot of people come from the South and they drink sweet tea, and it's like this normal thing. And I think sweet tea is like triple sweet. And if you're used to it, it's not like a tart limeade or something like that. And so it takes some getting used to not having that sweet. And I read on the either keto websites, maybe sometimes low carb, high fat, but a lot of keto. It's like people that are addicted to sugar and sweet things and desserts want to know how they can, recreate their sweets a la keto. And the point of keto is really to shut down the sugar cravings. And it's not the purpose, but it is the one of the consequences, or one of the things that happens. And that's what I wanted to happen. I wanted to get over, I don't want to learn how to make something that's keto. And I got sucked in. And it wasn't even sugar. But I was watching this woman make this almond bun thing with almond meal, sour cream, eggs, anyway, those sort of ingredients. And so it came out bread-like, right? And she made them in the whoopie pie pan that I just happened to have. And so I was going to have it, and I was going to get some nice ground beef for Greg and me, and we were going to have cheeseburgers, and I was actually going to have, these keto almond buns for it, and it was going to be kind of fun, because it's something that I used to do, except it was always with a Thomas's English muffin. I had this snobbery thing. I had to have a Thomas's English muffin with my cheeseburger, right? So this was going to be a keto almond bun. And so when the woman was doing it, it was like very low carb for those people that do keto with like less than 20 carbs a day, which I don't. I do around 50 carbs because I have a lot of veggies. And so I did it, and I factored it all in. Here it is, the recipe. And then I went to see the calorie count, because I still like to, still be in my range at the end of the day. And it was something like 320 calories for each. It's like they came out thin enough that it's not like you cut them in half. So I would need 2 of them. So it's going to be like 640 calories for the 2 keto buns for my cheeseburger. That's before the burger and the cheese. And it's like, don't think so. That's like a pack of Thomas's English muffins, right? So that killed that. And then, of course, I laughed at myself because there I am writing it down. And the sane Sarah that eats healthy, that eats keto, low carb, high fat, does not want dessert substitutes, bread substitutes to have, even though you can have them. Like, I do make a fathead pizza with the almond meal. And I know that it is very high in calories because it's got the almond meal. And even though it's high fiber and and it's gluten-free, it's not a flour. And so, but I've been making the portobello mushroom cat pizzas, and those are just as satisfying. And so I found a substitute, because pizza for me is it. And yes, I'll make a fathead pizza again, maybe in the winter when portobello mushrooms aren't as prevalent on the shelves. But it was just kind of funny because I always have to go right upside the head, remembering that I'm not looking to make all those things, because the visual of even the almond buns or like a keto dessert made with coconut flour or almond meal or something like that, it's going to trigger my head, the visual, as if it's like a dessert. And I need to get away from that. I don't need to have the sweet in my life. And I've told a lot of you that the fat bomb, the way that I make it, there's really nothing sweet about it. Maybe some of the white chocolate morsels, but really there's only like a tablespoon of them in it. And so I'm not satisfying the sweet tooth so much as I am the fat desire. And so, hence the fat bomb. And so I find it very satisfying, and I guess I've adjusted to calling that the treat. And so my fear of missing out is satisfied when I have a fat bomb, when I have a portobello mushroom cap pizza that ends up 252 or 3 calories the way that I did it. So for some of you looking for, sugar-free alternatives, I'm on my side of the street. I'm just saying that my food addict gets very, very triggered by something that is made to look like what I used to eat. And I have to be very, very careful. And the fat bomb is it for me as far as the sweets go, except for the fruit that I have at noontime. So, and as far as the things like, an English muffin or a pizza and things go, very rare and appropriate, to quote my favorite, Penn Jillette, a rare and appropriate treat. So my fear of missing out events can be navigated and accomplished and achieved with 0 things in my mouth that were not planned. You know, there's no cookout if you're eating the way that I'm eating, or even if you're still doing Smart Points, I don't know. But I'm assuming if you leave out the bread and the potato salad and the chips, things like that, and you stick with, you know, fatty, you know, like a burger or a hot dog, no buns, and a salad, a regular salad with no dressing, and the raw veggies that you can either put into the salad and build your own big salad or just have on the side, and you're good. You know, I find that standing and eating is a no-no. That's something I learned in OA 40-something years ago, and I don't stand and eat. So if I was at one of those events and I was triggered by the FOMO and all the food that I can't have, I would definitely take my one plate, fill it with the things that I was going to have, and sit down and partake in it, and then throw out the plate, throw out the fork. I don't know about you guys, but my foodie would hold on to the fork because dessert was coming. And it was always in the form of some sort of cakey, something needing a fork, right? And so, yeah, so don't have that fear of missing out. Either plan it for a treat meal or whatever it is that you're going to do, but track it. Or navigate it in a way that makes your food plan clean so you can come back here and you don't have the fear of missing out on the gains that the rest of the pickles have made while you were at your event, partaking in a free day that you feel icky about later. You have the food hangover. We don't, because we weren't invited, for starters. But yeah, so the fear of missing out, make that for the fear of missing out in having a string of clean days when you come back here and listen and learn and track and take care of yourself. It's just switching up things, but it works. And the more you do structure and discipline, the more better your food plan will be, right? So I want you to be safe. I want you to be happy. I want you to be tracked. I want you to be successful. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.